Without Eddy, Zato doesn't get much from normal hits. With 5p he can just chain it into itself, or if close enough he can do 6p, but it can be easy to space too far away. 2k2d works for most ranges, but there will be times where you notice it will whiff. And if you need to get a little bit more damage, 2k2d shade works. Close/2d and close/2d shade are nice, but for more damage, the basic string of close/far/ or 2s into 5h, 2h is the best he gets. When spaced out, 2s and far/ won't connect into 5h. While 2s and far/ don't combo into 2h, it should still be done pretty much every time if you don't have Eddy. While 5h Pierce doesn't give a full combo, 5h Wild Assault, then 2h into Frog gives good corner carry and solid damage. For jump-ins, anything into 2k2d is the most consistent and best even if you have Eddy, so you can get good Oki. The fully charged dust combo is JH Dust S, all with slight delays, then air dash backwards with a big delay into JH Double Dust. With Eddy already out, do Pierce into dash up 2s 2h while holding S and H, then release S first to get Frog. Make sure after 2h you hold down forward or forward to move Eddy closer to them or else he won't connect both hits. If you unsummon after Frog, it's better for Oki, but for damage you can repeat the same sequence of 2s 2h into Frog and close slash into a wall break when close enough. When you sandwich them, tap dust into Pierce, then 5p like in normal pressure, and close slash 2h to launch them while holding S and H, and down forward to move Eddy away. Then as they start to fall, release S to get Frog to catch them and pull them back to you. Once the first hit of Frog connects, do another 2h to keep their position in front of you, and end the combo with close slash 2s 2h 2h. To build slightly more meter, after the 2h you can do Break the Law and keep them in front. Instead of 2h to reposition them, Shade also works. The same combo applies for the low of 2d in this mix-up too. It's possible they end up going over your head if you do Pierce too early, but you can fix it by just sending Eddy to the other side of you by holding back or down back. And of course, assuming you have meter, you should end with Sword Super. An alternate route is to launch with 2h while holding K, then release near the peak of their arc into a quick unsummon, then 2k before they hit the ground into resummon. This will take a lot of practice, but it's great to have. Make sure not to unsummon too quickly or the drill will not come out at all. If you are trying to conserve Eddy gauge, then after confirming the hit into Pierce, do 5p 6h as a chain so you don't delay the buttons, then unsummon. With tap dust, if you do Pierce early and it makes them airborne, it's better to just do 6h immediately, but it can be difficult to recognize this in the moment. If you do 5p into 6h and they were in the air, then they could easily go over your head. If they get restood, then 5p 6h works fine. This is another reason why tap dust into Frog is good, since there's no reason to have to think about confirming the hit. When crossing under with Break the Law, the original combo of 2s 2h Frog works great. Just remember to move Eddy towards them before Frog. An alternate combo is to do dash up 5k jump JD into Frog, but it's a bit tricky to get Eddy in the right place for Frog to combo both hits. If you throw them during sandwich pressure, make sure to hold forward during the throw so Eddy gets distance for Frog to get both hits in front of you. Release Frog too early, they'll fly past you. When mixing with Drill's midscreen, the Pierce gap fill into 6h still works from the JD, but the low doesn't have forward momentum, so it won't work from that. Instead, 2k into Drills is best, and a simple route with a delayed 2s works well, but you can add in a charged Wild Assault after 2h for an extension if you need it. When punishing burst, close slash super jump JD, then close slash JD again, then close slash into a wall break. If you're not close enough for close slash, then 5h Wild Assault is good for corner carry and getting some decent damage. If they don't mash on the stagger that Wild Assault gives, then jumping into air dash down forward, then command grab stalls Eddy gauge to come back almost all the way. If they do mash, then it won't combo, but you can still command grab without the jump into air dash. When punishing supers or risky options in the corner, dash up 2h into Frog, then unsummon is good easy damage letting you save Eddy gauge while continuing a simple combo until the wall breaks. If Eddy is gone, it's better to go with a fully charged dust punish. Dash up 2h 2h also lets you get 5k into JD for a good combo without Eddy. For knockdowns that use drills as a meaty, if they get hit, 2s into delayed Pierce, then 6h unsummon is a great way to maintain pressure. But if you just want easy damage, then close slash 2h Frog if you're close enough to the corner is the go-to. For sandwich drills, 6k becomes a useful tool since it can push them lower for Pierce to go easier into 6h. For a little extra damage you can fit in a 5p before the 6h, but it's not necessary since they're already airborne. Fully charged dust also works here, but it's a bit harder to pull off. 6h works too, but it's also a little tricky to time. Frog loop is better for damage, and drill unsummon 2k works too, so pick whatever works best in the situation. From a Crossup Frog setup, 2k shade is the go-to, but only works if you're really close. Sometimes even with a dash you won't quite make it. It'll take practice, but getting down a dash up 2k shade is important for this mix-up, and it lets you go into 6H Oki. If you end on the same side, then you'll have to do 5p shade for 6H Oki to work. Even then, it's pretty inconsistent, so it may be better to just cut it short with a small pop-up into unsummon resummon. For counter hit 6p, for just a little bit more damage, going into shade works, but it's not really worth the damage if it doesn't kill, so it's better to just do raw summon. It is possible to get a slightly delayed pierce to connect and clap cancel into a second one for a little extra damage. Without the delay, pierce will whiff under them. If you're closer to the corner, you can do a normal pierce combo and get great damage or Oki. It's best used when catching people trying to IED out of the corner. Counter hit, far slash, and 2S don't give full combos with pierce, but they at least combo into 2-2H. For an easy 5H counter hit combo, pierce twice, then frog into super gives a hard knockdown. To get a little more out of it, after the second pierce, you can do drills, then frogs, and get the sandwiched Oki. To squeeze out some more damage, dash before the super, then during the super hold S, and release it once the super ends to get frog. To sandwich them after that, you can break the law into 2-2 to get the eddy swap. But the more general combo for 5H counter hit is the normal pierce combo, since the counter hit slowdown lets both hits of pierce connect. From opposed 2H, shade into delayed frog, then unsummon. After routing into another 2H, raw summon holding S for a little, letting go of frog as soon as possible, then 2S to let both hits connect. If you do frog too early, they'll go over your head, and too late, frog will miss completely. If you're looking for damage, then doing the typical frog combo and looping into it a second time is the go-to, but ending with launcher into super won't combo. Instead, do super when frog is pulling them in. I found this to be a bit inconsistent, but the corner carry route is similar to the Crossup route from before by doing 5k into JD then frog. Positioning eddy can be awkward, so make sure to practice. For an eddyless RC combo, it works just the same as the burst punish by doing close slash super jump JD, then close slash JD again. With eddy, 2H raw summon, hold S, into immediate frog 2S is a great way to get corner carry and good Oki. Or you can raw summon eddy and move him away with down forward, then 2H into frog loops. But since frog has such a long knockdown time, it's fine to end early and save eddy gauge. If you do a normal red RC, then you can dash under and get JD air dash JS, close slash 2S to 2H for a side switch without eddy. If you do forward red RC, then they won't be high enough to dash under. With eddy, it lets you get the space outside of the corner for frog to set them behind you. Trying to red RC Zato's command grab can be a little tricky since it has a small window in a long animation. It has to be the last hit, otherwise you get a PRC and it makes them fall quickly. But if you can get it, then you go into whichever RC combo you like. While there are many different combo routes Zato has, I chose the most common and consistent ones I know of. But as always, if you have questions, let me know, and thank you for watching.